Welcome to Whispers of Healing, where we speak the unspoken, heal what's been hidden for too long, and guide your heart back to the love it truly deserves. From a young age, many of us unconsciously absorb a life lesson that isn't explicitly taught in schools or openly discussed. It's a message that permeates fairy tales, echoes in grandmother's warnings, is seen in romantic films, and lingers in awkward pauses. We are told that in order to gain love, we must be sweet, adaptable, always willing to help, and naturally attractive. It is often believed that beauty is what opens the door to love, that modesty gives you options, and that having no problems guarantees you won't be abandoned. Therefore, over time, we are gradually taught to seek love by being submissive, to give in, even when our inner voice protests, to smile through the pain, and to downplay our own worth to fit into someone else's life, as though love is a reward for self-sacrifice. However, it's worth taking a moment to stop, take a deep breath, and wonder, what if all of this is just an illusion? What if this formula doesn't actually bring us closer to true love, but instead pushes us further away from it? The instruction on what a good woman should be often leads to an imbalance in the relationship. This is where you find yourself having to give more, wait longer, and eventually end up alone. You wonder why your partner did not appreciate all the efforts you put in. It's crucial to understand that emotionally mature men do not look for relationships with those who seem to beg for love. It's not that they are insensitive, but rather that the energy of pleading doesn't indicate genuine authenticity. Instead, it signifies an inner emptiness. An important image emerges here, a metaphor that resonates deeply with everyone's soul: the emotional beggar compared to the serene queen. The emotional beggar represents that part of the personality which continuously gives and gives, hoping desperately to be noticed. It anxiously awaits messages, goes out of its way to please others, and remains silent out of fear of losing what it holds dear. It is not a sign of weakness. Instead, it represents a wound that's been covered by selflessness. However, there exists another energy, the energy of a serene queen who neither belittles others nor competes or pretends. She may not be perfect, yet she carries herself with confidence. She's not strict, but she is firm. She's not cold, but she maintains her cool demeanor. She has stopped begging for love and has begun to live life in accordance with her own principles. As Louise Hay wisely said, love is not something that needs to be earned. Every single person is deserving of love just by virtue of existing. Although this may sound straightforward, it is actually one of the hardest truths for many people to accept. How often have you found yourself needing to try harder to be liked, to offer more, to yield more, only to end up feeling as though you are less valuable? How often does it seem that more effort pushes true love further away? Maybe it's time to stop seeking answers outside and reconnect with who you were before feeling the need to change for love. It's not just about giving advice on seduction. It's truly about gaining clarity and reminding oneself that being truly irresistible isn't about trying to conquer everyone. It's about reconnecting with your genuine energy. In reality, it's not a perfect body, a flawless smile, or always being available that makes someone truly attractive. What genuinely awakens deep desire and fosters a real commitment in an emotionally healthy man is the presence, calmness, and authenticity you bring. Picture a woman whose love knows no bounds, whose generosity is limitless, and whose willingness to give is always present, even when her own strength is nearly depleted. She firmly believes that genuine love is found in selflessness and modest expectations. Maybe you will see yourself in this narrative. The emotional beggar is not merely a satirical portrayal, but rather a depiction of a profound inner condition, a deep wound that many women unknowingly bear. This is the energy that lies behind the words, "I don't want to be a burden, I'll adjust." The most important thing is that he should be happy, and somehow I will find happiness too. However, what truly lies beneath this self-sacrifice is fear. The fear of not being good enough, of not being chosen, of ending up alone. It's the deep-seated belief that love needs to be earned through sacrifice, self-denial, silence, beauty, and perfection. And this harmful cycle actually starts quite early in childhood, when your parents' attention was conditional on your good behavior, when being pliable earned you their affection, and obedience led to their approval. As you grew up, you unknowingly carried this pattern into your relationships, not realizing that in your perception, love is a reward given only to those who always do everything perfectly. So you started to love with caution, forming relationships driven by the anxiety that even the smallest mistake might lead to losing your partner. Maybe you've encountered a situation where just after meeting a man, you give yourself completely, change your plans, agree to things you dislike, and justify his actions by finding excuses. And when he pulls away, instead of setting boundaries, you try even harder, because deep down you believe the issue is with you. If you were more fun, attractive, sexy, or available, he'd choose you. But this is actually a common misconception. He's not leaving you because you're not good enough. Rather, he's leaving because he perceives your neediness and desire. And this, even if not spoken aloud, is sensed on a subconscious level. Emotionally mature men are not searching for a woman who will make them the center of her universe. Instead, they are seeking a woman who already possesses her own rich and fulfilling world. An emotional beggar is someone who is not truly living her own life. She is always observing his every message, his every glance, and every response he gives. Each of his reactions can either make her self-esteem soar or cause it to fall into a deep abyss. She is certainly not weak. In fact, she possesses a profound sensitivity and an enormous heart. The issue is that she tends to give it away freely, without any defenses, in the hope that someone else will take care of it for her. Think about the symbolic tale of the woman who carries an empty cup in her hands. She moves through life, offering it to every man she encounters. "Fill her up, please," she asks. Some throw her crumbs, others a few drops, and she smiles gratefully, but the cup remains empty. And one day, exhausted and worn out, she sits down and cries. And in that silence, she hears a quiet voice from within. "This cup can only be filled by you." That voice is her self-love, her intuition, her strength, her inner queen. As Louise Hay wisely said, "Unless you value yourself, you will not value your time." You must learn to appreciate your own worth, and only then can you truly cherish the moments you have. And as long as you don't put a high value on your time, you won't be able to accomplish anything meaningful with it. This point is crucial because when you learn to value yourself, you no longer accept less than you deserve. When you make the choice to prioritize yourself, you stop pleading for love and attention. When you fill yourself up from within, you cease to settle for mere crumbs. Yes, indeed, many of us have been emotional beggars at various times in our lives. This isn't because we are inherently weak, but rather because we were never taught to love from a place of fullness and abundance. We have been taught to give of ourselves, but not to live in harmony with ourselves. Therefore, it is not a matter of beating ourselves up, but of awakening, of recognizing a destructive pattern and destroying it. How do you manage to achieve this? Begin by focusing on yourself, rediscovering what brings you happiness, and nurturing your energy. Establish boundaries that safeguard your peace of mind, and cease making excuses for those who cannot support you. When a woman stops pleading for love, an incredible transformation occurs within her inner world. Men, like sensitive seismographs, detect these changes as the woman stops showing desperation and starts shining truly. This is the big difference between compulsive pursuit and magnetic attraction. Consider where you've sought attention with gestures, silent resentment, or selfless sacrifice. In which situations have you ignored your self-interest for phantom love? It's now the moment for a victorious return to her true self. It's truly the time to take that cup which has been emptied and fill it up with your own presence, your love, your valuable time, and your joys, because you genuinely deserve a love that you don't have to plead for. A love that truly sees and acknowledges your worth. However, this journey to finding true love starts with the important choice of loving yourself. In every woman's life, there eventually comes a pivotal turning point, a kind of internal snap. It's not always a dramatic upheaval or a significant event. There are times when, in the soothing quiet after a night without sleep, filled with tears, or while sipping a solitary cup of coffee in the morning, a sacred moment arises. It's when the question, "How can I become more attractive to him?" transforms into a more profound inquiry, "How can I like myself more?" This is the birth of the Serene Queen. She is not just a fictional character, but a real potential within us. She doesn't emerge into the world as perfect, strong, and confident right away. It takes time and self-discovery. Often, she was emotionally drained, giving too much in relationships that harmed her, trying to satisfy others. But one day, the pain transformed into a teacher, and she decided on a different path. The calm queen doesn't know everything, but she no longer seeks externally for what she discovered inside. She has learned to rely on herself, to comfort herself, to hold her heart tenderly, and it shows when she enters a room. It's not just that all eyes are fixed on her, it's that everyone can feel her energy. She doesn't need to scream or plead, instead she radiates confidence, awareness, and presence. Louise Hay wisely observed that you should love yourself for who you are. Love what you do and the way you do it. The Serene Queen truly epitomizes these words, for she has learned to see herself, accept herself, and be present with herself. One of the key cornerstones of her personality is her inner emotional confidence. She doesn't rely on messages to feel loved, and silence won't break her. She has constructed a strong inner home and knows how to find her way back to it when the world outside becomes overwhelming. This woman nurtures a mature femininity within herself. She refrains from using her feminine energy to manipulate or seduce others. Instead, she expresses her emotions with sincerity, without unnecessary filters, yet also without causing chaos. Her vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but rather a deliberate act of strength. Ultimately, revealing your true self without pretense requires more bravery than being someone you're not. What I admire most about her is her capacity to appreciate without idolizing. She recognizes beauty, strength, and power in a man, yet never diminishes her own value. She doesn't have to lower herself to lift him up, nor dim herself for him to shine. She understands her identity and thus knows whom to welcome into her life. A gentle emotional independence is a rare virtue that radiates from deep within her. She neither dismisses love with arrogance nor clings to it from emptiness. She carefully chooses to share her inner world rather than giving it away freely. She has her own interests, loyal friends, and a set routine. A man can join her life, not as a missing puzzle piece, but as someone who enhances her already full life. This is the type of woman mature, stable men seek, one with strong roots, not chains. She inspires with her peace, not withholding due to anxiety. Oddly, they crave this. They're tired of games and masks. When they meet a woman living genuinely, they feel a powerful peace. It's a calm emotional presence, free of demands, rush, and pretense. This is what men cherish most, not because it's forced, but because it naturally fits into their lives. Such a woman doesn't try to be liked, she simply likes herself, and this naturally draws others to her. Picture an ordinary day in her life. She's at home, cooking her favorite meal. She doesn't simply wait for a call or a text message. Instead, she takes her time to savor each moment, truly experiencing the joy that comes from the simple things in life. And when he finally shows up, she doesn't just rush to him headlong. She thoughtfully decides whether or not to share this particular moment with him because her life is already so full and self-sufficient. This fullness is not at all a display of arrogance, but rather an expression of genuine self-love, and you can feel it in her every move. She does not offend anyone. On the contrary, she radiates sincere tenderness and warmth, yet she always remains true to herself. And this creates a magnetic effect, because tenderness that emerges not from a fear of being lonely, but from an inner sense of freedom, is genuinely irresistible. The Serene Queen understands that she is never truly alone, even without a marriage, and that her worth is not lessened by the absence of a partner. She knows her life truly begins, not when someone else loves her, but when she learns to love herself. Without a doubt, she dreams of experiencing love, but not because of necessity, rather as a conscious decision and choice. Louise Hay wisely stated, "Love is not something external, it resides within you, and once you discover it, it cannot be taken away by anyone." This profound understanding was not something this woman stumbled upon by chance. She reached this insight through deep introspection and by experiencing the pain of loss. She rejected old, outdated ideas of herself and established personal boundaries even when it caused her discomfort. She learned the importance of saying no, even when her heart was breaking, and through this process, she grew. It's a lengthy journey that anyone can embark on, taking it one step at a time. It isn't about pretending to be another person, but rather about beginning to embrace your true self without wearing any masks, without fear, and without making humiliating requests. In the end, what truly makes a woman irresistible to the majority of men is not her appearance, her intelligence, or her ability to please others, but rather her inner energy, her calm demeanor, her capacity to sustain herself, and her ability to be with someone while maintaining her own identity. Society has long promoted the idea that men focus on external attractiveness. It was commonly believed that the main and often the sole criterion for men when choosing a partner was a perfect figure, stunning beauty, and a compliant temperament. Influenced by these stereotypes, numerous women tried to match this imposed ideal, striving to balance between being sexy and modest, cute and unobtrusive, as well as accessible and independent. In their endeavor to conform to the expectations of others, they frequently lost connection with their authentic selves. However, it's important to understand that emotionally mature men are not in search of a lifeless doll, but rather a genuine living woman. These are men who have invested time in self-improvement, healed their emotional wounds, and embraced their own vulnerability. They are not drawn to an artificial facade. They seek depth and sincerity. What truly captivates them? Above all, emotional authenticity is paramount. A woman who openly expresses her true feelings without hiding them for fear of appearing uncomfortable is invaluable. She calmly and openly says, "I'm hurt, I'm happy, I don't accept it." She doesn't resort to manipulation or dramatization, but instead she simply shares what's truly on her mind. For a man who is open to experiencing real and genuine feelings, it's like a fresh breath of air, because he is tired of constantly guessing, assuming, and trying to unravel the silence. Secondly, we have energetic consistency. This implies that a person's words align with their actions. When a woman claims she loves herself, she demonstrates this by taking care of her health and overall well-being. If she talks about respect, it is evident in the boundaries she establishes. Nothing is more disheartening to a conscious man than encountering a woman whose words and actions are in conflict. Conversely, when there is inner harmony, it exudes a sense of confidence and dependability. Third, authentic presence. This is the type of energy that does not aim for flashy brilliance, but instead shines brightly from within. It reflects the calmness and confidence of a woman who is deeply in tune with her true self. She doesn't require applause or external validation to prove her worth. She knows how to enjoy the silence and still manages to remain irresistibly attractive. Many emotionally mature men express it like this: "She inspires me to strive to be better, and she listens to me attentively without any judgment. When I'm with her, I don't have to put on a facade or pretend to be someone I'm not." This is the quality they treasure the most above everything else. A woman who inspires others without pushing her own will onto them, who offers her support without losing herself in another person, and who reveals her true self without the need to impress anyone. Louise Hay once expressed that self-approval and self-acceptance in the current moment are essential keys to achieving positive transformation. Men who are truly deserving of attention can sense this. Ultimately, a woman who embraces and accepts herself does not constantly seek approval from others, nor does she plead for love, but chooses consciously. One more characteristic that truly enhances the value of a relationship is the presence of overall emotional freedom. Men who are mature do not desire to control their relationships. Instead, they are drawn to partnerships where both individuals maintain their individuality and have the freedom to grow together while remaining true to themselves. To achieve this, they seek women who radiate trust and do not need constant, minute-by-minute affirmations of love. These women understand that genuine love is not measured by the number of messages exchanged, but rather by the energy and connection shared between them. A woman who understands the importance of enjoying her own personal space, has a variety of hobbies she loves, maintains friendships, and pursues her own goals, choosing to share her life with someone else is truly a remarkable find for a man who values his own freedom. He perceives the relationship not as a trap, but as a conscious choice, which significantly alters how he views it. When it comes to appearances, physical attraction and aesthetics definitely have their place. Nevertheless, the most profound beauty is not something superficial. It is something that is deeply felt. A woman who lives in harmony with her body, treating it with love and kindness, and not torturing herself by criticizing in front of the mirror, is far more attractive than one who merely meets conventional standards but suffers from deep insecurity. Ultimately, it is the emotional calmness, the inner confidence, and the vibrant energy of a woman who gives of herself not out of fear, but by her own choice that leaves a truly indelible mark. A prime example is a 40-year-old woman who, after going through a divorce, started working on herself. She returned to the dancing she cherished as a child, began seeing a therapist, and rediscovered a world free from rush or fuss. In a conversation with a man, she heard him say, "Your energy captivates me and makes me want to be around you." It's not a game, it's a genuine feeling. Men who truly deserve attention aren't seeking perfection. Instead, they look for women who are on the path to healing, who understand their own worth and who refuse to settle for any relationship just to escape loneliness. Therefore, it is worthwhile to ask yourself if you aim to please everyone or if you are ready to attract the one person meant for you while staying true to who you really are. After all, the man destined for you by fate will love not a facade, but your genuine self, the one who gazes at her reflection with love, does not apologize for her brightness and does not diminish herself out of fear. He doesn't seek a perfect woman, he desires a genuine one. Throughout this emotional journey, you might have seen yourself in the image of the emotional beggar. Perhaps the image of a serene and calm queen seemed like an unattainable ideal, something available only to a select few individuals. However, it's crucial to remember that you don't have to transform into someone else. You just need to recall who you were before you began losing yourself in the process of trying to please others. To be truly irresistible doesn't mean you have to please everyone, control every single aspect of your life, have a flawless figure, or master every technique of seduction. Irresistibility is actually an inner state of harmony where your feelings, thoughts, and actions align perfectly. It's the profound ability to live fully in alignment with your own truth, even when no one else is watching. A woman who does not sell herself out of fear of being lonely, who refuses to pretend just for the sake of gaining approval, and who chooses not to keep quiet merely for the sake of acceptance, possesses a truly unique energy that cannot be copied or imitated by anyone. This type of energy is not born from any strategy, but rather it emanates from deep within. It is an energy that is felt, remembered, and respected by others. The wise words of Louise Hay remind us, "Change your thoughts, and the world around you will be transformed." Within this notion lies a deep and profound truth, one that is especially significant and relevant to women. Imagine for a moment that instead of pondering the eternal question, "What should I do to be loved?" another thought takes root in your mind. Consider, how can I show more love and appreciation to myself today, just as I am? The moment you cease the desperate chase for love from external sources and begin to nurture and cultivate it within yourself, the world around you starts to transform in the most incredible and amazing ways. Unnecessary and superficial ties slowly begin to dissolve over time. Those individuals who are unable to provide you with the support and understanding you need seem to vanish, as if dissolving into thin air, making room for new opportunities to emerge. This creates a space filled with tranquility, specifically designed for you to realize your goals and to build relationships that don't drain you, but rather reflect and resonate with your inner self. The state of a serene queen is not merely an unattainable dream. Instead, it is a very real and achievable state that is available to every woman. It is not achieved by striving for perfection, but rather through a conscious choice. It arises when you cease accepting the mere emotional crumbs tossed to you from the outside world and instead choose to take your rightful place at your own table with dignity. When you stop searching for that one man and begin to become the woman for your own life, then something akin to magic occurs, although it's truly the natural outcome of your inner transformations. You start attracting the right people and events into your life. You draw them in from a place of serenity, from a clear consciousness, from that gentle power that doesn't need to compete, doesn't make demands, and doesn't impose. Yet, it confidently asserts itself. Ultimately, emotionally mature men aren't seeking perfect women. They seek those who have self-awareness, who can feel and support themselves, who are capable of opening their hearts without losing their own individuality, and who are able to love while also loving myself. And you have the potential to become just such a woman, not tomorrow, not when you reach some ideal version of yourself, but today, right now, as your own unique story, with both your light and dark sides, with your tenderness and your inner fire. Therefore, if you've ever found yourself wondering why you are unable to build deep, stable, and sincere relationships with the men you dream of, perhaps you should ask yourself not, what am I missing? But rather, what part of myself am I ignoring out of fear of not being loved? Today, you have the chance to reconnect with yourself. You have the ability to find peace with the wounds of your past. You can make decisions for yourself without needing anyone's approval. You can embrace yourself with greater love and tenderness than anyone else ever has. And from this place of self-love, you can create a completely new relationship with the world surrounding you. Being irresistible isn't just a clever trick, but rather a unique vibration. It's a light you begin to emit when you no longer feel the need to be noticed in order to affirm your existence. You are like a guiding light, not a mere shadow. Your love is not just a reward for those who are merely willing to withstand it. Instead, it is a truly invaluable gift meant for the person who can embrace it with pure intentions and a soul that is fully awakened.